If you appreciate your local water supply or life itself, please consider giving a like and please subscribe to this video, as your likes and subscriptions are the water supply of this channel. This video started with this sign. When you start making YouTube videos on a regular basis, your mind starts looking for new ideas. Actually, one quick thing. It is not a sign, it is an information board. On my walks, I walk by this board all the time. And I don't think about it. I don't really pay much attention to it. And I feel that's probably what most people are like. Most people probably don't even care about the sign, or maybe they look at it once or twice. I've certainly only looked at it once or twice before. And then I decided on one of my more recent walks to look at it really closely, to really study it. And I thought, well, this would be a cool video. It was really by accident that my footage of Bodie State Historic Park and Mono Lake and a few other towns from one of my more recent videos in which I was traveling back from Reno, it was really an accident that that footage got turned into this mini documentary or video tour. And so I thought, man, how cool is that? That I get to go around with my new equipment and I get to capture all this interesting footage, turn each of these videos into both a learning experience for myself doing the research, as well as a learning experience for the audience. And I get to transport the audience into these places that I've been to myself and relive the experience of being there for myself as well. On a recent walk, I had an epiphany. I was thinking about my Bodie and my Mono Lake experiences and the subsequent videos, and I realized that I actually felt more connected to each of those places and more satisfied when watching the videos than I was when I was actually there. So without further ado, my name is Scott. I will be your tour guide today, and let me show you around various points of interest of the Orange County water supply. The first stop is the Santiago Creek Recharge Basin, which is owned and operated by the Orange County Water District. The water in the basins comes from stormwater collected by the Santa Ana River and the Santiago Creek. These basins manage stormwater runoff and prevent flooding and erosion downstream, but they also recharge water for drinking. It might surprise you, but these basins weren't always there. Originally, the basins were sand and gravel pits. The Orange County Water District purchased them in 1983. Then they were completed in 1991. It is pretty far out, but according to the City of Villa Park website, such wildlife as mountain lions, bobcats, and deer have been reported near the basins. And although no fishing is allowed, there have been reports of bass and trout among other fish captured from the basin waters. It's just a personal thought, but it is fascinating how bodies of water, which actually have a lot of function for our society, are also used for recreational settings, as there is a bike path and walking trail alongside the recharge basins, and then there is bike path and walking trail alongside the creek, which will be our next stop. You can see the cars driving by the basins and the creek, and it makes you wonder how much of an appreciation do they really have for these very important sources of their water. Santiago Creek is a major watercourse in Orange County, about 34 miles long, and it drains most of the northern Santa Ana Mountain. The creek shares its name with Santiago Peak, which is the highest point in Orange County at 5,687 feet. Historically, Santiago Creek provided water for the Tongva people, a native people whose territory extended over much of present-day Orange County. Their territory also extended into the Los Angeles basin and covered approximately 4,000 square miles. Even to this day, the Tongva descendants have persisted and contribute to our culture in present day.
Know where you're at, show respect to the tribe whose lands on which you stand. Shout out my relatives, showing pride with no tribal ID. American, this prophecy comes into remove our voices, children and rights. Don't wonder why we resist on our own land. It's riots from blacks for similar discrepancies against the perpetrators.
Santiago Creek was named by the Gaspar de Portola expedition of 1769. Gaspar de Portola was a Spanish military officer. His expedition gave names to many geographic features in California, and he was the first governor of California after having established San Diego and Monterey. The Santiago Creek Bike Trail, which is probably where I do at least 30% of all my walking, is a prominent feature along the creek that invites cyclists, joggers, walkers, and nature lovers. It extends 8.5 miles from the northeastern corner of the Santiago Creek Recharge Basin on Cannon Street down to Main Street near the Discovery Cube and the Main Place Mall in Santa Ana. Along the trail, there are 4 parks, 2 bridges, shaded oak trees, and unspoiled native vegetation and wildlife. I discovered this next place completely by chance when I was doing a delivery to a nearby home. And I must say, when I first came by here in the daytime, I was surprised. I imagine a lot of people in the county don't even know that this place exists. It has incredibly sparkly, shimmering, clear water. This is Walnut Canyon Reservoir. Walnut Canyon Reservoir has a capacity of 920 million gallons of water. It is the largest city-owned reservoir in Orange County. This reservoir is capable of supplying water for the local area for 30 to 40 days. Water destined for Walnut Canyon Reservoir begins as rainfall and melting snow high on the western slopes of Colorado's Rocky Mountains. From there it flows down the Colorado River through 5 states to Lake Havasu and Parker Dam. Then it travels 242 miles across the Mojave Desert through Mount San Jacinto and eventually winds up in Walnut Canyon Reservoir. It was completed in 1968, and it has a maximum depth of 100 feet. The water surface covers 50 acres, and in 2009, it underwent a major rehabilitation. It serves as the primary water source for the Anaheim Hills and Canyon area, and the reservoir also provides water for helicopter-based firefighting. Irvine Lake is the largest body of fresh water entirely inside Orange County. It is formed by the Santiago Dam, which I wanted to film, but to no avail. Irvine Lake, also known as the Santiago Creek Reservoir, was constructed in 1933. Once a water supply primarily for farmers, now it primarily supports urban needs. Irvine Lake has an area of 1,093 miles and a maximum depth of 145 feet. There is limited fishing in Irvine Lake, which include trout, catfish, and bluegill, all stocked from outside sources.